Well, everybody, this is Catherine Toon, and good morning or good evening, depending on what time zone you are in. And I just thought I would hop on today just to encourage. Good morning, Samuel. I just thought I'd hop on today just to encourage us. You know, it's been kind of a dark time. And, and it's easy to start to feel the weight of that on you. And, with the whole coronavirus issue and just fear, everybody's coming out with their, particular protocol and that's fine. But the truth is that you are one with the person of love. So what does that mean? As you have awakened to the person of love, the one who is love inside you, he's so much bigger. This is Christ in you, the hope of glory. What does that glory look like in the place where people are genuinely fearful? Good morning, Lisa. They're genuinely feeling the pressure. And, one of the things that, and I felt the pressure, whatever. So, but how do you respond? Because what's happening is that the pressure on the outside with people falling ill, with the virus spreading, with some people dying, there's a lot of people that just are, recover. So let's remember that. And just where could it pop up next? And we start to get paranoid. And then what happens is we go out and we're like, oh my gosh, I have to start, providing, and just fear drives. And so, I've been kind of sitting with this a little bit, like how to respond, because I didn't want to give pat answers, and I didn't want to, and I just wanted to sit with it a bit. And more and more people were coming out, the toilet paper's gone, and this is gone, and that's gone, and, wash your hands. And definitely wash your hands. Good idea. But, I wanted to sit with it a bit, and I disciplined myself purposely not to do any shopping for my family, until I normally would need to do shopping for my family. And I knew that in the meantime, all the toilet paper was flying off the shelves and all this and all that. And I went out yesterday to go shopping, and I went to 4 different stores to kind of get what we needed. And there was stuff that I just couldn't get. It just wasn't available. It was actually, wow. It was like aisle after aisle after aisle. And it all said fear, 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 fear. And, and then, so how do we respond? How do we respond? And the truth is, oh my goodness, we have such an advantage. This is our time to shine, right? Because we really do have an answer. Roosevelt said we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And this is truth. And the fear issue is basically saying that, God, you're not big enough to protect me or heal me from coronavirus. You're not big enough to protect and heal my family. You're not big enough to provide toilet paper and bread and eggs and spaghetti sauce. You're not big enough. So I have to go out and I have to provide for myself. And so, in the feeling of the external pressure, I disciplined myself because I knew stuff was flying off the shelves. And I said, I am not. Because let me say this, fear is a bully. Fear wants to tell you what to do. Fear wants to tell you, you got to go get all you can. Fear wants to say, oh my God, someone coughed. And, and so now I have to, and I'm not saying, stand in let people cough on you. I'm not saying that, but what's important is what's going on the inside. And so there is a place to be righteously rebellious. And what am I saying? You're being righteously rebellious in the place where fear wants to pull you out of love. Like fear gets to be Lord. God is love. Fear is not Lord. And where the Spirit is Lord, there is freedom. So where love is Lord, you get to be free. And you see, this is our time to shine. Why? Because we have revelation. So many of the people that have been tying in, I mean, I wrote a book marked by love. Okay, so I may have a little bit of revelation on this. I mean, not the be all end all, but and let me say, and let me tell you why I wrote that book. I mean, one of the reasons why I wrote that book, because I had been operating in so much fear and so much hurt and so much devastation and so much insecurity, so much identity crisis, all of that for so many years that the Lord had to walk me through. And I realized something. Because God is love and love never fails, that one way or the other, love wins. And so he's got to win first. It's not like he hasn't, because he already has. But then his job is to convince you of his masterfulness, to convince you that he is greater than coronavirus, than shortages, than death. Love is greater. You see, Jesus is the light of the world, and he came to his own, and his own didn't recognize him, and the darkness did not comprehend him. What is the darkness? The darkness is every place in our minds where we're not seeing him. And so what does love do? Love goes and he woos our hearts to awaken to the fact that he's always been there. He's always been masterful, and to heal our hearts in the places where it hasn't looked like that. And so for those of you who've been sitting with us and growing in this revelation of our oneness, our union with the person who is love, we get to shine. Because there are areas that we're all growing in our journey. But let me say this, there are so many people who have not had the benefit of sitting under this revelation, not just my revelation. This is like, what I love too is that there's so many people who are gelling with this, so we're all getting the memo. So I get to do my part, but you get to do your part. And this is your part to rebel against the bully of fear. So fear comes and says, I'm going to kill you, and you're going to starve, and whatever that is, and you won't get yours. And you're like, well, shut up in Jesus' name. Jesus really does get to be Lord, and he gets to be Lord in your life. Every place that's bullied by any version of fear, that's not about coronavirus. That's about my prodigal kids, or, well, they're not prodigal kids. They're just confused. And God gets to pull them back, and love gets to minister. And so this is our time. This is our opportunity. So many times we say, God, I want to do great things for you and all that kind of stuff. And he says, awesome. Let's love. And you know what love can look like? It can be like, wow, you don't take the last bin of toilet paper. It can be like, wow, I'm not going to get ugly in the grocery aisle. When I was shopping yesterday, they were actually restocking Prego. There was none, and then they were in the process of restocking. I was like, oh, awesome. So I went up to him and was like, hey, can I grab 2 of those? And he turned around. This actually hurt my heart, because he said, well, yeah, thank you for asking. He said, I had been serving in Florida during hurricane season and in a grocery store, and people just grab things because they would panic. And I'm like, oh, those people didn't have a revelation of love. I mean, seriously, we shouldn't have to be commended for being polite. Yeah, we shouldn't have to be commended because we just actually ask and don't grab, and then we don't take 12. Because if God is not Lord over toilet paper and Prego, spaghetti sauce, God is not Lord. And I'm saying, if you're feeling fear, there's no condemnation, but I'm saying, let love answer the fear in you. Shake yourself and remind yourself who you are and whose you are. That you are one with the person of love, and he is masterful and he never fails. And he's not going to fail you here. And this is what people are needing because they are afraid. Because fear is bullying humanity. And it is time, and I just encourage you in this, in the places in yourself, put your little holy high heel down, or a low heel, and say, no, I am going to answer that bully of fear, and I'm going to answer it with love, and I'm going to let love minister to me, and I'm going to, out of that place, let love flow. Let love flow. Oh my goodness. Be rebellious against panic, against fear, against anxiety, against hoarding, right? If someone has coronavirus, be an answer, because the truth is you are so adored. Let him adore you into being able to release the love that others need. Because there's nothing greater than love. There's no revelation greater than love. Love is a person. And, if you've been waiting around in this revelation of who God is as love, as how he's marked you with love, however you've connected with that through my ministry and other ministries, and what he's given you yourself, this is your opportunity to be the answer. Because let me say this. There are a lot of atheists out there, and people of other religions out there who in their heart of hearts really want who God is and who Christ is to be true. They just haven't seen us wear it. And so they've been so turned off that they turn, hi Sheila, hi, oh my goodness, Halebi, did I say that right? I'm so sorry if I butchered that. I'm so glad you're here though. Thank you for joining. I need a phonetic help here. But thank you. I'm so glad you're here. But they want it to be true. And the only way they're going to get a glimpse of it if they see us rising up and being who we are. Let me tell you, I don't want to get all religious-y on you, but you were made for such a time as this. You were made for this. You were made in love, to be loved, to love. And love does not tolerate fear. It doesn't. It doesn't give you a breathing exercise. Doesn't. It just simply casts it out. And and I'm okay with do whatever you need to do to help yourself. But I'm saying the pressure that's coming from the outside, let that squeeze the answer to come out from the inside, because you are an answer right in your space. Okay, so and if let's say you kind of blew it. Let's say you went out with 5 bins of toilet paper because you got, okay, no condemnation. Okay, but let's start from here. Okay, have we all blown it? Absolutely. Have we all violated love? I believe it's called, let me think. Oh, sin. It's called sin. Yes, we all have. But so it's a level playing ground. But I'm saying you have been, it's a setup. It is a setup for you to release something. Because let me say, if God isn't Lord here and love isn't Lord here, he's not Lord when things are good. Okay, so let him minister to any fear you have. Resist it. I mean, I purposely waited to go out shopping, and I went literally to 4 different stores to get what I needed because there's so much hoarding going on. And some of those people are believers, okay? And no condemnation, but it is diagnostic. And we can all be corrected. We all come up higher, and we could all, let me say this, let's remind one another of who we are. Oh, let me say that you are bigger than that stinking coronavirus. You are bigger than any hoarding. You are bigger than all of it, because love is bigger on the inside of you. Let him flow out through. Let him minister to you, and let him flow out to you. And I have a prophetic word. Are you ready to say it? Thus saith the Lord? Prophet, apostle, prophet of God, Catherine Toon is going to release a word. You ready? This is a good word. It is going to be okay. It's going to be okay for you. It's going to be okay for those people with the coronavirus. It's going to be okay. Your kids are going to be okay. The economy's tanked. Why is the economy tanked? Because of fear. Fear is bullying us. And I'm saying no. And I encourage you to say no. See, because I had to discipline myself first. It's like, oh, wow, we need this. Oh, wait a second. I'm good. And I disciplined myself to wait because I was not going to let fear bully me. And I think, awesome, you guys don't need to let fear bully you. And as you let love minister to you, you release that peace. Fear dissipates. Any place that's feeling tormented right now, whatever flavor that is, that's a flavor of fear. And you can say, oh, hell no. Love gets to be Lord. And this is your time to shine. This is your time to be an answer. This is your time to be the answer that so many people are looking for, right? And they're going to see it in you. I was so grieved by this dude, and like, oh my God, I was polite and I didn't hoard, and it ministered to this dude in the store. I'm not saying this is like, I was a little shocked, to be honest with you, that it's gotten to this. Really? So whatever is at fear with you, oh my goodness, just let God minister to you. But you can get righteously angry and resist it. Submit to God, resist the devil, whatever you're calling the devil, and he will flee. You can term the devil as fear. Yeah. You can term that, right? Resist it. Like, no, I'm not, I'm reminding myself who I am. And I'm reminding myself of who God is. And then I'm going to be able to remind you of who you are and who he is for you. And you get to be an answer in your grocery store, in your local hospital, in your school, in your Bible study, in your accounting firm, in your whatever you do. Love gets to be an answer. And he always trumps the bully of fear. Yeah. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to head out in the marketplace. I'm not worried about coronavirus. We do what we do. And you get to be that answer for someone who really needs to read it on you. Love in your flavor. You are one with God. You are one with love in your flavor. Oh, my goodness. Let's perfume the atmosphere with love. That truly is an answer. Okay, guys, I love you. Thank you for joining. Share this with someone who needs it. Love you. Bye-bye.